I'm Christopher. I'm the owner and chief instructor of Precision Racing Instruction. I've been coaching racing and high-performance driving professionally for over 22 years. With experience in anything from karts to formula cars to rally cars to sports cars to sim racing and a bit of everything in between, I can help you no matter what form of racing you do. We specialize in a precision approach to improving both your car control and racecraft to make you the best driver you can be. For a limited time, we are offering a special deal for anyone who mentions the Formula Indy Series, 15% off your first coaching session, either in the sim or in person. On top of that, I'm offering a one-time free video or data analysis for new students. Reach out to us either through Instagram or Facebook.
Well, hello once again, and welcome to round number 6 of the National Capital Chapter BMW Car Club of America. This is Matt Houston and Raceverse. Looks like we don't have any car audio. There we go. Probably don't want to listen to me very much. You want that car audio. So, ticking down, we are from Detroit, Belle Isle. This is like a nature park, an island here in Detroit, and we're racing on it here this week. Really bumpy track. We've got a new name here, sitting in pit lane, Andy Scheel, followed by Steve Ficacci and Chris Hill sitting in pits. Darren Treakle back here this week after running at the SCCA Nationals. Good to see a couple new names out there. Really rough track here. I want to bring up, hopefully I can find it before we get to the grid. But if we can't pull this up, we'll do a run through of the grid here as Darren pulls it down. It looks like Brian Kennedy is here this week. Wasn't sure if he was going to make this one or not. I know that he had an event going on at Watkins Glen at some point or another recently. But yeah, welcome to the show. You had that info from PRI, Precision Racing Instruction, running a 15% off first virtual or real-life racing instruction from Chris Hill there at Precision Racing Instruction. Really good teacher of the craft of racing. And I guess we'll just go through the grid here. Steve Ficacci takes P1. I thought that Scheel was going to take it there. Is that correct or not? Yeah, I believe it is. Followed by Andy Scheel there in P2, Darren Treakle P3, Chris Hill P4, Aaron Dietrich P5, Peter Lanik has had a couple of good runs these last couple weeks in P6. Andrew Stutzman P7, Colin Kortanek, he also had some pretty good runs in P8. Scott Kim back this week, P9, Brian Kennedy P10, Yakov Bielek P11, Peter Yerkes at P12, and Jesse Brannon, Sten Cellier, he's back, Matthew Stover, and I would just let me reset this if I can. And look at that, minute 27.752, remember that? Lap time, because if I can pull it up, let's see here. We ran this in the low winter sun season, and I wanted to compare our lap times. We're now running the BMW GT3s. We ran GT4s back then. The GT4s, I'm gonna bring this up on the screen here. The GT4s ran these kind of lap speeds. Minute 26.144 was Hill on the pole. Hendrick was here in P2 126.420. So we're about a second faster back with the GTEs, but you'll see that name in P3 here. I love this track. So my first and only start here in the series was that starting in P3. The race didn't go quite as well. Still had an okay finish for my first outing, but took some damage there at the start. And that was, that was a tough break there. So good to see a fast newcomer to the series. As we are gridding up on the track, we'll be doing a rolling start. Let's see if we can get there. We go. Oh, we got the, I guess we're in Detroit, so we have possibly a Chevy truck of some sort pacing the field here. Usually have like a Porsche sports cars, but I'm assuming Scott chose that one for the track that we're starting at. Luckily, we start here on the back straightaway. We don't have to do a full pace lap like some of the tracks we do here. And we'll get a look here. They peel away. Shields going to be starting from the front row in his first start here in the series. Welcome him to the NCC BMW Car Club of America here. Going to be fast and frantic start. Turn 1 was where my race went south. And Shield gets a really good jump there over Fikachi there. 40 minutes. Chris Hill there in P3, getting everybody through here. Over this big bump right about there. I shared a video with the guys here earlier this week of the Chevy pace car dunking it over that, as we have Shield taking the lead. Very difficult track here. Lots of concrete walls, as you can see. Earlier this week, we've had kind of a street course special here on the Race Verse broadcast. Oh, we've got Matthew Stover getting around, getting into Robert Benson. We've actually got 16 starters here tonight. Really difficult to pass, really easy to make mistakes here, and that can be doom to your car. But yeah, we ran Long Beach over in the Formula Indy series. A lot of, it's just really it's survival mode, and you've got the same thing here. So Steve Fikachi, they're heading on to a complex of corners here. Let's go ahead and go on board with Fikachi here, as he's going to go around, start a lap here. So we're going to be coming across the start-finish line. There it is. Into turn 1, the only grass you're going to see on the track on the left and right here. Holding tight into turn 2. Over that bump, that's where the pace car crashed. This is coming up to turn 3 is the best. This is Central Avenue here on the park. Best passing point on the track here. Heavy curbs on the side, using all the curbs we can on the left. A little bit of grass there on the right, big curb there into turn 4. Right-hander, left-hander, turn 5. And on to turn 6, really big bump here at the apex of the corner. And onto the back straightaway. Sets up to a really kind of odd, bumpy right-hander that will sweep to the left and then turn to the right. Slow down, shift down a couple of gears, few gears really, in fact. A little bit of grass and a big curb on the left. They're going to head through kind of a fountain section. It's off to the right. You can't really see it, but they do a celebration here. And that is turn 11. Really difficult. Coming up to turn 12, you can miss your braking point and head onto those tire barriers there. And through turn 13, and we're almost done with an entire lap here at Belle Isle already. There has been discussion here recently in Detroit about them moving the track. So this is a city park, and obviously animals live here. So although I love this track, there's deer and squirrels and things like that that live here year round, and one time a year the Indy cars come here and disrupt everything. So you have to imagine what's going on there. So the city is thinking about moving the event away from the island. From what I understand, it's not the best event as a spectator. You have to cross this really long bridge. You're walking. There's some casinos not too far away, but all the way across the bridge that you can stay at. But they're trying to find a better venue for it. Possibly the old Formula One actually came in the 80s for a year or two, and they might be thinking about going around there. Matthew Stover checking back in the field. On the bumper of Benson. Excellent shots here. Benson's going to brake early, but side by side through. That was turn 7. See Scott Kim having a tough break here. We're into October now, and he's running that Ghostbusters car as the theme track, or theme livery. Hey, and by the way, we're like exactly 1 year, maybe not to the day. I can probably look that up though. That the first Race vs. BMW broadcast occurred. Let's have a look quickly here. If I can pull this up, it show past seasons. It was the Oktoberfest season. All right, October 1st, we had Spa, and that was won by, of course, my internet decides, Rafa Torres. Yeah, unfortunately, Rafa hasn't been around recently. He had to, that was that was not our leader. That was Scott Kim getting, I was seeing like white car while I was looking at that's the leader right there. Darren Treakle, they're about a second between all these cars here at the front. Excellent camera here. This hill, Darren Treakle. That is Aaron Dietrich there. Bring up our follow spotter here. Stutzman having a rough race so far. He started 7th, he's running 14th. Nobody opting for the BMW Z4 here. We have an option of which car you want to drive. Nobody taking it. So previous weeks we run a really tight fuel number here, and we might be into a 2-stop situation. We'll see how the fuel ends up running here. Kennedy up a couple spots from 10th. Brannon up 4 spots to 9th. Stancelier up 4 spots to 10th from 14th. Stover also up, so we're got a few guys tied for their positions there. Bit of an unfamiliar place for these drivers here in 2nd and 3rd with this Andy Shield coming here. Setting some laps here. He might be the street course expert. We'll have to talk to him. He's running the 007 car here. A lot of British drivers run that 007 car. No surprise there. Looking through the field, our best battle looks to be Robert Benson, and Stutzman appears to just have got around him. Robert Benson going with a no-qual to start the race. He's got a little bit of damage on that front. We saw that incident earlier in the race. And we've got some pretty big gaps already, but Stutzman, we know he's fast. He started 7th, he's in 13th. This might be the action shot here. See through that, over that bump. Shifting down in the gears. So next week, we will not be broadcasting here because I will be on vacation. So they're going to be heading to Mosport, which I drove earlier this week, followed by VIR, Virginia International Raceway, and then we'll be back October 22nd for Zandvoort. One thing we need to keep an eye on here is that we might start to get some lapped cars in here, and they might become an issue. Very difficult to pass, even under normal circumstances, and then as the leader, you're going to be required to do such a thing here. Should take a moment to thank our sponsors here in the series. First of all, Sten Cellier, let's get him on the screen. Currently running in 10th, but that's Sten up there at the top left. And he's got Beltway Brewing Company. They're located in Sterling, Virginia. Proudly represent the DMV, and you can check out their unique lineup of IPAs, lagers, sours, stouts, and even seltzers. And they have flights and empanadas by Peruvian Brothers also available over in that tap room. For all things Beltway, you can go to beltwaybrewco.com and follow them all the social medias. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Of course, Facebook is back up today. At Beltway Brewco is where you can find them. They did have a special, let me see, I noted this, it's called a Marzen Lager. I don't know if that's still available. It's part of the Oktoberfest. I noticed a lot of times the Oktoberfest kind of runs out. They started up in September, runs out by October, so I'm not sure on the availability of that. But we've also got SEO Mike here, and I don't see Dean in the field here tonight, but he'd usually be running their car. SEO Mike, and they've specialized in organic search engine optimization. They've been doing that since 1997. Over the last 24 years, they've worked on over 4,000 websites in a wide variety of industries to achieve strong rankings in search engines. That's led to, for these websites, growth in traffic, sales, and revenue. So thanks to SEO Mike, Beltway Brewing Company, for sponsoring the series here, getting these broadcast good for everybody. Heading back, man, we really do have big gaps, but there's Stutzman had another issue. No, that looks like Stover. He's caught up to Stover and Yerxa. They're not going to make it easy for him. Let's go on board once again with Stutzman, see what he can do here. It was blinking a little bit, though. We've noticed that in previous weeks, that it's a little bit of a blinking issue. Sometimes you cannot control your internet. So this is the... Ooh, gotta be careful not to run into the back there of Stover. But this is the National Capital Chapter BMW Car Club of America. And there was a blink. Don't want to be on board with the blinkers. Stutzman getting a good drive off of, I believe that's like turn 10. Thinks better of it. Ooh, he forces Stover into a mistake there. Stover having some issues. He's going to be crabbing there. Let's get a replay of what happened there. This is right about the moment for a pit stop, though, so it might not be the end of the world for him. Let's get a replay if we can. So Stutzman kind of forced him into a mistake here. Heads across the track and just keeps hitting that wall. Looks like Robert Benson went around him as well. Looks like Fikachi might have had a mistake that last lap because he's dropped back about 2 seconds now from Shield. Hill also having some issues back here in P3. 3 seconds back. Really big gaps. Oh, we've got Darren Treakle had some issues here, because he's back in 6th, starting 3rd. Lanik getting around him. So we've got a battle brewing here. Really, really difficult track here. This is why I love it. It's a really technical track, really bumpy. A lot of people hate these bumpy tracks. You couldn't drive a Formula 1 car around here. It's way too bumpy for a Formula 1 car, but part of IndyCar's pedigree and my He used to follow a lot of the Champ Car World Series, and a lot of their courses, the bulk majority of their their schedule was on the street courses, and that's where I learned to love them. Darren Treakle battling with Lanik here. Really equal speeds for the top 6 here in terms of best laps. Everybody's in a minute 28. So we're seeing if Darren here saw a picture of, oh, see, he's forced. I was just about to say he's trying to force Peter into a mistake similar to what Stover had side by side here. And Lanik's going to maintain that position while they're battling. Cortanic back here is catching up, and Treakle's going to take over that 5th position. Looks like Stover getting lapped there by both Shield and Fikachi. Chris Hill's going to be the next target for doing that. Well, we will see. If they have to pit earlier than that 20-minute mark, then this is going to be a 2-stopper, I would say. I would think that the fuel mileage should be decent here compared to some of the other tracks that we've been on that are really high speed on the throttle. I think that they can save some fuel here compared to those tracks. So we could be in store for a 1-stopper. Shield just builds an even bigger gap, lap by lap. We have spread out again slightly. I see that Lanik about a second behind Darren Treakle, and then Cortanic lurking about 2 seconds back from there. Let's do a through the field here. Scott Kim here, he's a lap down. We talked about him a little bit earlier. I'm in here in the series running that Ghostbusters car. New movie coming out sometime soon, probably December. Matthew Stover, P14. Really like that livery. Robert Benson, P13. He's run this livery since the very beginning of broadcasting here on the series. Andrew Stutzman, he's having a bit of a struggle here in this one. He's back up to P12 after starting 7th. Yerxa is in 11th. Sten Cellier in 14th. Jesse Brannon up to 9th from 13th. Looking at that card. Brian Kennedy is about a big gap back to, or up to Cortanic. But he's running in 8th right now. Is Kennedy? There is Cortanic. Gained a position from the start. Lanik, he's just holding station. He was up to 5th at one point, but he started 6th. He's back in 6th. Let's see here. And here's our leader, Shield. So next week we'll go to Mosport. We'll head not too far from here. We're up in Detroit. We'll bring our passports, head over the Canadian border, head up north a little bit, and heck, it might be more like northeast, and we'll be in Mosport. Okay, Jesse Brannon first to hit the pit lane here. We'll see if that's a sign. He's opting for the 2-stopper. Scott Kim's also in the pit lane. That might be damage related. Keep an eye on these leaders here. second leader is pitting. Fikachi here, though. Looks like he wants to opt for the one-stopper. He's going to stretch it. Chris Hill also going to think about that. Shield hasn't even hit his pit lane yet. Dietrich going to take over P3rd spot. We know he's good at fuel saving. Darren into the pit lane. Lanik also goes through. Here we go, folks. This is, looks like Kennedy going to hit the pit lane. What does Sten do here? Does he drive past it? He still has a bit of time to decide here. Really difficult to see pit lane. Look at that little gap in the wall there. Yeah. All right, so I would say Fikachi can make it to the end from here. So we're going to be sub 20 minutes, sub halfway through. Heading through the fountain section. There is a fountain over there. You can't see it. Not like, say, Long Beach, where there's a nice fountain that you see with the dolphin on the top. But, nevertheless, there is a fountain over there somewhere. Fikachi comes, that's hot into the pits there. We'll see here. Well, I guess Shield here can still do a one-stopper now that he's seen these guys. He can save from some fuel from here. Lanik into the pit lane. Ooh, Shield hitting that wall on the outside. He's gonna have to pit again. That is devastating to his race. Really, really tough. It's so easy to make a mistake here in Detroit with any street track. If you guys want to see something really exciting in street tracks, look up Macau, the Macau street course and the Formula 3 cars. So we're gonna go on board with Shield here. We've got some time to get. Let's fast forward to this. So he's coming out of, I think that is turn 11. And he's just going to miss the braking gear. And this isn't even fresh tires or anything like that. Just misses his braking zone. Locks some tires maybe. Bang on that wall. That is going to mess with the toe, the steering link on the car. And he just opts directly to just hit that pit lane. Probably get that fast repair. And be on his way. Well, he might be an interview target here. I just heard a big bangers. Oh, okay, we've got, is that Scott back there? Yes. Sorry, Scott. By the way, you can some of these shots you can see we've got Slimer on the top of that car. Let's see if we can get a better shot of the Slimer here. Maybe here? Nope. Let's go up to the chopper. There we go. You can see right on that top of that car, we've got Slimer on the top, heading back to live pictures. Andrew Stutzman trying to get back up. He's gained a couple spots. He's trying to get back up to 7th where he started. He's got to get around Brana and Cellier up there in 8th. So where do we have? Shield is opting to... he's out of the car is what I see. That's tough. Stutzman, we're going to go side by side. Into turn 1 they go side by side with Jesse Brannon. Stutzman's going to make that work on the outside though. Kortanik got around Lanik and that cycle of pit stops here, and Lanik has caught him. We've got got to interview, Lanik getting a little bit into that concrete. Interviewed Cortanic the last couple of weeks. Good to talk to him. Looks like we're about 15 minutes left in this. We've got one more sponsor break we should mention here. We've got Hagerty Insurance, Treakle Insurance. So Treakle Insurance is from Darren. Let's find him on track. He's in P4 right now. So Treakle Insurance, independent insurance agency offering auto, home, business, and life insurance. And they teamed up with Hagerty Insurance to provide collector car coverage as well as race car and track day coverage. You can head on over to treakleinsurance.com for more information. That's auto, home, business, and life insurance. Check them out. Right on the screen, treakleinsurance.com. They make it so we can have these races here on the channel. They pay for the broadcasters. And actually, we've got a little bit of a... Oh, we've got Lanik is spinning around here, doing the 3-point turn. This is about, I want to say, turn 5. I'll double check on all that. But we'll get a replay of this, too. We've got a little bit of a prize purse this season, new for the drivers. Just a few bucks to crown that champion. Let's see what happens to Peter. Oh, the new rear end comes around him. He hits that tire barrier and he backs it up. That's not what you want to do. That's just some frustration there. And he gets it back going again, but that's going to solidify things for Cortanic pretty much, unless he makes a mistake here. Lanik has lost about 12 seconds. Lurking in the background is Brian Kennedy. Stutzman working on Sten here. Don't give it to him, Sten. Fight this one. Out of turn 11. We saw the leader of the race really hit that swall on the outside there. Stutzman right on Sten's bumper. Looking inside. Cross start finish they go. And Stutzman has the position. So Ficacci inheriting the lead. Familiar place for him, Hill. And second, also pretty familiar place for him, either first or second. Aaron Dietrich, he's going to be happy. He's in third. Just got to bring it home. He's got Darren breathing down. That currently is a 1.7 second gap, but it is coming down ever so slightly each lap. Last lap for Darren was about 0.2 faster. Fastest lap of the race will go to Shield, it appears. You can see that gap coming down for Treakle. So Stutzman getting backed up to 8th. There's a lot of room to get back up. He's got 24 seconds to regain to get back up to where he started, but we've seen him come through the field here. Anything is possible. Darren's about 1.4 seconds back on Dietrich. We're about 11 minutes to go here. You can see the exit of these corners. Darren really using all the track, getting really close to that wall. That's just confidence he has in his car. Let's go on board with Darren. Listen to this sound here. I'll pump it up a little bit. you can see on that corner back there how really close to the wall they get. If you make a mistake and try to get too close, that wall can knock you back to the left side of the track, and that is never fun. Darren has brought this gap up to Dietrich to exactly a second. You can see him sawing on that wheel through these, trying to find the grip through these corners. Just under 10 minutes to go. We're estimating 8 more laps left in this thing. Might be slightly less than that. Just inching into this gap is Darren. Brannon trying to gain a stand up here too. Oh, and they both go into the barriers there. Brannon keeps it off the wall, and that will put Yerxa into there. Let's get a replay of what happened there. I think that Sten went into the barrier, and Jesse just followed him right in there. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Missed his braking zone. Hard into the barriers. You can see Brannon. It basically knocked him back, was Sten there. He keeps it going though, maintains that position. Is that Scott there? Yeah, Scott's running around, did a little bit damaged here. That front of that car, you can tell that right front wheel is a little bit out of alignment. It is really tough here in Detroit. Back up to this battle for the final podium position. So we saw in the SEC runoff that Darren running a car that with the same exact livery. I believe I read that he finished 8th in the feature race, but we'll have to get that confirmed. But there were about 30 cars in that race, so good run by him. Kennedy has caught up to Lanik. Lanik having some issues. Last lap for Kennedy was a second faster. These guys are sort of teammates here, I believe. Gas burn guys. And heading through that fountain section into, yeah, it looks like Brian's got some pretty good car left here, and this is definitely the best battle on the track. We're keeping an eye on that one with Treakle though too. He's brought that to half a second, and they have lap traffic ahead, so that's not going to be easy. That is Benson up there. They get around the lap car. It looked like it was really close there, but it looked like it might have slowed up Darren just a little bit. Looks like he's gained it all back now though. Brian lurking there. Equal time back as Darren. Oh! I think that was Lanik brushing the wall. See if we can spot what happened there. Let's see. No, I don't know where that came from. I heard a bang. So, huh. Keeping an eye on Darren. Looking for that final podium position. Hard under the brakes here. Just 0.3 of a second back, right on the bumper of Dietrich. Now Lanik and Kennedy do the same thing. Brian looks like he has a really good run. He's going to try it on the outside into the braking zone here. Not quite going to work, but a really good try. Darren about 0.3 back from Dietrich. Heading onto the front straightaway. Gaps are just being maintained about a half a second. Another one developing is Yerxa and Stancelier there. Brian not quite as close as he was last lap. You can see that front end damage from Lanik. It might be slowing him down just a little bit in these straightaways though. Might even restrict some of his front downforce on these cars. Chris Hill has gained back up to about 2 seconds to Ficacci up there, but there's not much he can do. They're pretty much setting equal laps. See who gets a good exit out of turn 2 over that bump, the crest of the hill. Darren looks inside just to kind of let Aaron know that he's there. Aaron's really come along in this series. He's fighting off one of the veterans. Gap between Lanik and Kennedy is sort of growing here. About half a second more than it was last lap. We'll just keep an eye on that battle between Treakle and Dietrich. Coming down to it here. We're only about a minute and a half, 2 minutes left in the race. Steve Ficacci gonna get another one, it appears. Hill is coming down, but he's gonna run out of laps here. He's brought it down to a 1.5 seconds. This will be white flag coming up. Final lap. See if Dietrich can hold off Darren. One more lap is all he has to do. Matthew Stover getting out of the way, letting these guys go. Not going to be involved in this battle. Treakle right on that bumper. Oh, for a moment, I thought for a moment Dietrich just... And wait a minute. Is Darren? Did he have a... He's out of fuel? Wow. He is out of fuel. Meanwhile, let's look at the battle up at the front. Wow. Yep, he's done. I think Cortanic is going to get into fourth, or he's going to get up to fourth. Meanwhile, Ficacci takes the win. Checker flag out. Only a half second between him and Hill at the end here. Dietrich's going to be safe in third. Cortanic running in fourth. Can he make it to the end here? This is a tough one here between Kennedy and Cortanic. Who are we going to interview here? Wow. That's how close the fuel was here. Cortanic's going to come home in fourth. Eighth to fourth. Lanic's going to bring it home in fifth. So really another good run by Cortanic and Atlantic here. Kennedy's going to bring it up 4 spots too. Stutzman's going to get himself back up to 7th there. Let's see here. Oh, we've got, I don't know who that is, Stover, and a lot of incidents there. Cellier. So that was our reckon there. Well, I think we'll interview Cortanic again. He's getting that wild card position. Anyway, let me be right back. I'll set up our interviews. All right, we are back. Let's see. Who do we have here? All right, let me unmute myself. We have Steve there. No, I don't see Steve, so we'll give him a moment. We'll bring up Chris here. There he is. Actually, I see Steve there. We'll get him. Hey, Steve, this is Matt in the booth. Got a copy? I know you just jumped in here.
Hey, Matt. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, well, tell me about that race. Andy looked like he was really fast, and then he did pit early, and it looked like you were just going to end up one-stopping it.
Yeah.
And then he had a mistake, I think, in like the final sector where he brushed up against the walls are a problem here, and that's all it takes, and put you back in the lead.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what Andy's plan was. It seemed like his plan was to go fast, and I knew if you would just push hard the whole time, and you stop short like he did, he was going to have to make it a 2-stopper or just go really, really slow on the next one, which I'm not sure he was going to do. So I was kind of stuck between trying, running with Andy, and Chris looked like he was fuel saving. So I knew, at least somebody was gonna one stop it. So I kind of did both, and just went as fast as I could while stretching out that first one to 14 laps, which I think was kind of the key.
Very good. Well, did you start first or second? Because my information was saying that you started first, but it looked
Oh, I
like.
started second.
Okay, yeah, I thought that was a mistake on my display here because when I was looking at everything, it showed you second. And then when I went to the grid, it went to first. So I didn't know what was up there. But
Sometimes when the cars are gridded, they're not in the right place for whatever reason. I've seen that in
yeah,
regular races too.
yeah, it kind of screws with it, but really good race here. Kind of, this track it's not doesn't have the best passing points or anything like that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of time to be gained and just how you drive and how you hop over all those bumps. All the street course tracks are a bit like that. Really dangerous, and little room for mistake.
So I was very comfortable with the bumps. I was very comfortable like sliding the car out to the wall. I think I had a few 0Xs, as I imagine most of the guys did. But I really, my biggest concern was going to be back markers and lap traffic, which they were all great. No issues. I don't think they held up myself or maybe Andy or Chris. I mean, everybody seemed to get through, pretty effectively, which allowed us to just race, which was good.
Very good. Yeah. His mistake was back at what is turn 12, like the slow section before you come up to the like the front straightaway section.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to miss your braking.
There's those two right-handers, and the first one, for whatever reason, it just seems like you're doing everything you always did, and next thing you know, you're in the outside wall.
Yeah, I've done it plenty myself too. So yeah, it's just like really icy there or something. I don't know what it is about the braking zone, and just like the track surface is just there's no.
Well, I think it's not level. You go into a normal corner, and the grip just kind of constant. Where I feel like maybe there's like a slight rise. So like when you get over it, you're a little bit light. So if you fall behind, it just gets worse when you give it a little extra brake or you give it a little more wheel. It's just not going to take it, and I think that's very easy to get caught out there with that.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is one of my favorite tracks, though. Like even so, with all of that, I love the challenge of it.
Yep.
But yeah, really good run here tonight. Next week, I actually will not be broadcasting the next couple of weeks. I've got some things to do, plus a vacation in there somewhere.
Oh, cool.
But you guys are going to be at MoSport next week, then VIR, and then Zandvoort will be broadcast when I get back. Any thoughts going to any of those tracks, MoSport and all that?
Not good at any of them, honestly.
I ran. There's this IndyCar league called Lionheart, and I ran a MoSport last night. Man, I'm bad at MoSport. Yeah,
you know what? It's a great track. I'm just not very good at it.
Yeah. So.
And it's fun. I like the elevation and all that. I just never really had super success there. And then you said VIR. The last season we ran that, I got my butt kicked. I just I don't have the pace of Chris and Darren. So I mean, I guess the more times we do it, maybe I won't suck forever, but hopefully it'll come around. I don't know.
Well, different car as well. So different setups and everything like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But hey, any final thank yous, shout outs, that kind of thing too?
Yeah, sure. I want to thank my wife once again, guys at Rick's Flicks, and our league sponsors, especially SEO Mike. They're our new ones. So thanks to all those guys.
Sounds good. Well, I won't see you back, but I'm sure you'll be fighting for that in those podium positions and for that win here.
Well, that's the goal.
At MoSport. So regardless of whether you like it or not, I think you're going to be a front runner. So good luck then.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. We will bring up Chris here. Hey, Chris. This is Matt up in the booth. Got a copy? Not yet. Oh, he left, came back, maybe. Might not let him in. Maybe we'll interview Aaron first. Let's do that. Hey, Aaron, got a copy? I wasn't sure what happened to Chris there. He left. I'll get him after you, but you got a copy?
Okay, yeah, I'm here.
How's it going? It looks like through some fault of Andy there, you get that podium position, and Darren, he was giving you a lot of pressure, but it looked like he ran out of fuel right at the end.
Yeah. Fortunately, I went straight on fuel save. We talked about it last week about not saving enough, and fortunately, I had the number in my mind, and it worked out this time. So I had enough fuel to finish the race. I think he ran out right at the end, but Andy went out, and then Darren, I think, what is it, like turn 2 or 3, went a little bit past and maybe into the wall, was able to get past him there, and then yeah, the three of us that stayed out for an extra lap, we were able to get enough fuel saved to get to that point, and then we're able to finish the race and what we had. So, but yeah, that was pretty exciting, pretty nerve wracking to have a guy like Darren chasing you down, at a place like Belle Isle with worn tires.
And actually, you said, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a new track for you, right? You had to buy it this week, I think you said?
It is, yeah, brand new track for me.
Well, what do you think? Like, I love it personally. Like, this challenge of a street course, because it's pretty unique. Little margin for error. Because it's concrete walls all over the track. So, what do you think, though?
Oh, it's tough. It's a challenge. Yeah, you just kind of at the end of the day, you just got to get your laps in and get your practice in, so you can kind of commit those turns to muscle memory. And yeah, I ended up grazing the wall a few times, even with the practice I had. But keep it out of the walls and keep a good line, and try not to go too hard at the start too. That was a big focus for me. But yeah, a lot of fun. Very frustrating track, but good result for me, so I'm happy about it.
Yeah, you almost have to take a completely different philosophy when you race on a street course, and it just it becomes you in a fight versus the track versus fight against other cars. Of course, they're on the track too, so you have to deal with them. Yep. But it literally can bite you at any moment, like it did Andy there. He was in turn 12, which is that two kind of slower right-handers right before the front straightaway, and that corner, that first one, you can really miss your braking point. And you just you go in the wall there. So tough break for him, but it's really good to see a new fast guy in the league here. Maybe you don't want that, but hey, it's good for the league.
No, I'll take it while I can. I don't think most of these guys know, but my wife and I are expecting a baby boy in a few weeks, so I don't know what the future is going to hold for me moving forward. Definitely a lot less sleep and probably a lot less practice. So I'm going to keep practicing and trying to win or get on the podium up to that point, and we'll see what happens after.
Well, congratulations and good luck on all of that.
Yeah, thank you.
But hey, any final shout outs? I guess you just gave one, but you can give another one. Sponsors, family, friends, that kind of thing.
Well, of course, the wife to accompany her that's holding on to the baby. Very much thanks to her. And the sponsors, so Stan with Beltway Brewing, Chris with Precision Racing Instruction, SEO Mike, and then of course Darren Treakle with Treakle and Hagerty Insurance. Thanks to all, and thanks to you for putting on the broadcast as always.
Sounds good. Well, I won't actually be here the next couple of weeks, but you guys are going to be at Mosport. I'll be back for Zandvoort in about 3 weeks, I guess, time. But we'll see you then.
Maybe a guest appearance by yourself on the track?
Maybe, but I'm actually pretty busy, and that's why I won't be around. But
okay.
I wish.
All right. Yeah, enjoy your time off.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Yep, you too. Bye.
All right. We'll get Chris back up in here. Hey, Chris. Got a copy. I brought you up, but didn't hear anything. Still not hearing anything. We'll wait for him a moment. He might have stepped away. We'll try Colin then. It's where do we call in here? Hey, Colin, this is Matt in the booth. All right, actually, I got Chris back up here too. I'm gonna send you back then.
Okay.
Hey, Chris. For some reason, I actually can't remove you out of here. I don't know what it is, but hey, Chris, got it. You got a copy now?
I do now. Yeah.
All right. Well, tell me about your race. You started. I think it was it third or fourth?
Third, I think.
Okay. Yeah. My data sometimes gives me a little bit of incorrect information, but we've got a new fast guy in the league, but he did make a mistake there and put Steve back in the lead. He was really quick though, but you and Steve and Aaron looked like you were doing the one-stopping strategy. Also, this is like your third street course of the week. Tell me about your race.
Yeah, well, it was interesting because I kind of last second did the math of what it would need to be to make it a one stop, and I knew we had to make it to lap 14 for that to happen. And early on, I was kind of keeping touch, but not really with the front two. And I was like looking at what the fuel numbers were being for me, and I was like, the only way I was going to make it is if I really start turning it down and didn't worry about it. Of course, I knew Steve would probably make it because he's like somehow goes fast and saves fuel, and I don't have that skill yet. So, anyways, so I started saving fuel, but while I was messing around with that, I made quite a few mistakes and lost some even more ground than I wanted to. And I figured, okay, well, maybe I just get lucky and someone would, the guys ahead would be forced onto a two-stopper and we'd end up there. And then, I thought I was still in good shape after the stop, because I looked at, Steve's stop seemed to be a little faster than mine. And I'm thinking, okay, so maybe he'd bailed on the one stop, for all I knew. But then I started saving fuel, and I think I overdid it on the fuel saving, because by the end I had like almost a full lap left of fuel. And had I pulled the trigger a little sooner, I might have been able to give him a run for the win there. But it was still, all things considered, I think that was about as good as I was going to get. I didn't get much practice in, and didn't really get myself dialed in much. So I'm pretty happy to come home P2, not too far behind too when it's all said and done. Because
you did gain quite a bit of into his gap there near the end. So
it was definitely interesting. I mean, I thought for sure I was going to get there, and we just kind of ran out of laps. Maybe one more lap and I would have had a chance. But because I think he was probably still saving some decent amount of fuel towards the end. And if I had gone full rich, maybe like 2 laps earlier, I probably would have been in better shape. So
still is really tough to pass here, though. So you've really got to pick that moment. And
for sure,
like you said, if it was another lap, maybe it would have been different. But still a really good run here. As I was explaining to Aaron just a moment ago, it's like, so it was his first time running here, and he had just picked up the track like this week for the league here. You're just kind of racing against the track more than anything, with those concrete walls lining just about everywhere. You can make one minor mistake and that's the end of your race. So
for sure,
everybody's like that out here, and you've got all these bumps, and that in turn 12, that's what bit Andy up there after he pit. Like, for whatever reason, it feels really icy. You can go through there. He said
his pedals had a problem, is what he was saying to us in Discord, was something happened with his pedals. They locked up or something, and all of a sudden he then crashed or something like that. Or so.
Well, I've been there before where like I just missed that breaking point, and it is not a place you can miss a breaking point.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, and it would have been interesting too to see what would happen there, because he was definitely putting pace down, and I think he realized literally like a lap or two before the stop that he was like going to have to do a 2-stop, because he said something in Discord, and then so it would have been interesting to see where that all shook out, because he definitely was putting down faster laps than we were throughout the stint there, but I don't know if it would have been enough to make the 2-stop work or not. But
maybe
anyways.
He would have switched back to a 1-stop and just really, really had to save there at the end.
Yeah.
But we saw how it's pretty fun how we've got these fuel settings, how close it is. We saw Darren run out of fuel right on the last lap there. Really tough break for him, but it really adds an element of strategy that personally I really like. So it's really good.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I mean, there's not just flat out lapping. There's on top of that, you have to have some level of strategy with it too. So and some races are right on the border, like this one. Last week was definitely not. It was like guaranteed to be a 2-stop, so that made it a little bit interesting. But should be interesting to see. I guess we're going to Motorsport next week, so that'll be interesting.
I'm actually going to be out the next couple of weeks, so we won't be covering it here. I'll be back for Zandvoort, but Motorsport, I bet that will be a 2-stopper with all the throttle.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That should be a guaranteed 2-stopper for the most part. So.
Literally, there's no place to fuel save there. You're like, well, I mean, you guys have the fuel modes, so you can do all that, but still, it's not like if you didn't have the fuel modes, it would literally be like you'd be running like half throttle down the straightaway to fuel save or something like that.
Right. And lose so much time, it's not even worth it.
Exactly.
Sure.
But hey, PRI is running a special right now. You want to talk about that? Any of the other sponsors, thank yous, friends, all that kind of stuff?
For sure. Yeah, so we're running a special we were doing along with the with your series, the Formula Indy series, but we're also extending it over here to the BMW Car Club series, which is 15% off of your first coaching session with me. We're with either in the real world or otherwise. So obviously, depending on whatever interest you have, and it's just on the first session. But also offering, if anybody wants to send some data or video over my way, I'll offer a free sort of debrief on a video or data session, just as a little promotion for now. So, I did say on the promo, I think on the video there, you mentioned the Formula Indy series, and that's fine. Or you could also mention the BMW Car Club series, and either of those would be fine. So you can reach out to me any way you want, whether through Facebook, Instagram, Discord, Smoke Signal, any of that, and we'll take care of you. So, always love the series. So thanks again for Scott to put it on. Thanks for broadcasting it. And, I guess we'll see you in a couple of weeks then for the next one. So our next one that you're broadcasting. So
sounds good. Yeah, it'll be Zandvoort. And I actually ran there a couple of weeks ago in the IndyCar in another league. I wish it was the new Grand Prix. The new layout it's the same layout, but they've just enhance the track a little bit. Hopefully
for sure.
They get a rescan of that in iRacing. So
that big bowl turn and turn 3 or 4, whatever it is, looks like it was super fun.
Yeah. It's still pretty good, but I'll tell you one of the issues and why we can't really do it in Formula Indy is that it literally only has 21 pit stalls. We want to give most everybody like their own pit stall. The iRacing will do shared pit stalls, but we don't really want to do that. We don't want to have somebody parked in the leader's pit spot when they're coming in. So that's why we're not doing anything under like 30 pit stalls. Anyway, but yeah, hopefully they get that updated at some point in time, and we can get that on the series here with a smooth layout, I guess, and a little bit of banking too. But hey, we'll see you back in a couple weeks' time, and good to see you.
Sounds good.
And I'm sure you'll be back on the podium there at Zandvoort, probably.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll give it a go. Hopefully we can give Steve another good run for it. It's been fun battling so far this season. So.
And hopefully we get Andy back, and you guys got to deal with that now.
For sure. Yeah, no, it's great to have, always happy to have more guys up in the front there. Yep. It's always makes it more fun. So hopefully he comes back and does some more.
All right. We'll see you then.
All right. Talk to you later.
Yep.
Bye.
For some reason, I'm having so much trouble moving you guys here today. All right. Hey, Colin, finally got you. Sorry to bring you up.
No worries.
Hey, this is like the third time in a row or something, but I'm looking at like who's gained the most positions, and it was between you and Brian, I think, and because you finished fourth, you got it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
3 in a row. All right. 1 win and 2 wild cards. I'll take it.
That's right. I guess, one of them was a win, so 2 wild cards. Tell me about your race, though. Darren gave you that final spot. He ran out of fuel.
Did.
Yeah.
I noticed, it was, it's a challenging track, right? It's bumpy, it's tight. If you make a mistake, you've lost your race, right? And so just trying to be cautious out there. I was behind Pete and Darren for quite a bit, right? They were about, 3 to 5 seconds ahead of me initially, right? And then when we did the pit stop, like Pete stayed out one more lap, we did the pit stop, I came out ahead of him. And then, but after that pit stop, my tires, right, they just didn't feel the same. I went deep into a turn, I don't know, turn 5 or turn 6, and I think Pete might have done the same thing, but I caught it and didn't hit the wall, and he did, and that kind of gave me that space where, the rest of the race was just kind of, by myself, but I was able to just drive nice and smooth and easy and make sure I didn't, cause myself to ruin the race. And Darren running out of fuel, hey, I'll take that. I definitely was managing fuel like the last 3 or 4 laps and just trying to make sure I at least had 1 full lap of fuel left before the final lap. So definitely had to lift off and coast a little bit and just manage it for the last few laps.
Yeah, as I said to everybody so far in here, this track is as much battling the track as it is battling the other drivers on the track.
Yeah.
And personally, I really love this track. My only start here in the BMW series was at this track. Race didn't go that well, but I qualified third, so I was really happy about that.
There you go.
Yeah, it was me and Hendrik got it together in turn one, and my car like had that, you know, when you have the steering that goes to the right like 30% the whole race. Not fun. And I think that was before
especially
we had pit
here
stops.
where it's so tight and you get the turn wrong or the brake wrong, you're going to hit the wall again or get a meatball and have to go into the pit.
Yeah, I do think that was before we had any pit stops either, so I just had to deal with it through the whole race. It was not fun, but yeah, it's I love this track, but it is, you know, it is brutal, and you know, that's like it sounds like you you know, you didn't push too hard and you just you know, maintained the space, and you know, you get another really good.
Because I didn't think there was any way I could catch Darren. Little did I know he was just going to let me take it. So I'm glad I didn't try to do anything stupid. Because I mean, he when I came out, I mean, he was 11, 15 seconds ahead of me. You know, there was no way I was going to catch him. First of all, so kind of fell into my lap, which was nice. But yeah, I mean, I started using a seat mover with my sim rig. And whew, this track kind of beats you up a little bit with the seat
really?
mover.
Wow.
Yeah, especially what is it? There's like that really, really slow, tight right-hander kind of after the I forgot which section it is, but it's just got like that dip where you try to put the power down and just, you know, it was just bouncing me around, but it made it fun.
Yeah, I would say there's quite a few places that are kind of like that. Maybe turn 6 is when you're going on to kind of what is, I would consider, the back straightaway.
Yes.
There is a bump right at the apex of the corner there that is pretty nasty. Yeah, that's really cool though. I've never tried that. Do you run VR then, like with that?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm using triples, and then I'm using the Next Level Racing Motion Platform 3, so it's just a seat mover. But I've kind of dialed it back, so it's more subtle. But you know, because initially it's like, wait a second, the seat's moving, but the screens aren't. But it actually has like a nice effect. You know, almost kind of like to the force feedback and your butt kickers, right? You start. You don't have everything turned up to 1,000,000, so it's just overblown. You just kind of dial it in, and it helps because you can kind of feel the car losing traction or having grip in your butt as well versus just in your hands. So far so good. Hey, I've won a race and I've got 2 wild cards with the last 3 races since I installed it. So
because you got that butt feel.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have not tried one of those. I run VR personally, so I certainly recommend VR. It was like
what headset are you using?
So I started with a Rift S just because that was the only thing available about a year ago. I have recently upgraded about 2 months ago to the HP Reverb, and the quality is like so much higher. You do have to have the computer for it though.
I've got the computer for it. I work for a company that really wouldn't appreciate me using that.
Okay, but yeah, it's a HP Reverb. You can get Steam.
I'm teasing. I work for Dell, but you know, I'm just teasing.
Okay. Well,
I've heard good things about that headset as kind of that and the Index are like the top ones. I have a Rift S as well, and it just you know, it was cool, but for the competition and being in here for 40 minutes, you know, the triples just seems to be, you know, easier on my eyes and more relaxed and more focused.
Yeah, I thought maybe I needed to get glasses or something, because with the Rift S, like my steering wheel, I couldn't read my steering wheel, whereas I used to be able to read it with the monitor. Now that I have the Reverb, like the resolution of that thing is like way higher than the Rift S, so I can actually read my wheel again. So
you don't get that eye strain. You can be relaxed in there.
Yeah, I don't get any eye strain with it. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Because I mean, the design looks actually very similar to the original Rift, which I actually preferred versus the Rift S, just the original headset design.
I don't know. Like I was always the guy that was like, I don't think that VR thing's all that great. I'm not going to try it. And then finally somebody convinced me to try it, and it's like I could never go back. So yeah, okay. So that's my opinion on it. But
I know a couple of the guys have the Reverb too. I think Sten uses it as well. So maybe I need to swing by and give it a shot and you know, see if it makes me a converter.
I was telling
a reconverter.
Yes, I was telling Chris Hill, I think, earlier this week that I've got my first race with VR was a Brands Hatch. And that first corner with that whole drop and everything, it's like it was a total roller coaster for my mind. So it was like, and I was, that was just the first race with it. So that was like thrown into the fire. I always do everything. It's like just throw it into the fire and
do that and then go to Laguna Seca and do the corkscrew.
Yeah, that would have been another great place. Well, great finish here tonight. I won't be here actually the next couple of weeks. I'll be back for Zandvoort for broadcasting, but you guys are going to be at MoSport, then VIR.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make the VIR event. I'll be down in Austin attending the Formula One event, so I'm really excited about that.
Very cool.
It should be really neat. But looking forward to next week with the MoSport. I know when we've done that, it was actually a really, really fun track. Kind of reminds me of the Road Atlanta or the Brands Hatch style of track, just in terms of the flow. So that should be fun.
I would say that's I really always compare MoSport to either Brands Hatch or you said Road Atlanta or Lime Rock a little bit. Yep. I don't think we've done Lime Rock in this series. I don't.
I think our Summit, we do Summit Point, which is kind of like our Lime Rock. But yeah, I mean even that track too, right? They're all kind of like that same where it's great for this car and it should be a lot of fun. So. But
I think you have way more passing at Summit Point than you have at Lime Rock. You literally cannot pass at Lime Rock.
Nope.
So anyway, you take care. Hey, any final shout outs? Thank you.
Hey, Matt, honestly, just to you, thank you for doing what you're doing. Appreciate it. Love to all my Gasburn brothers out there. We always seem to be finishing right next to each other. So it's me, Pete, Brian, right in a row. Too bad for Yakov. He had an issue in the beginning of the race, but thanks again to all of our sponsors, Darren and Chris Hill and Beltway Brewing, of course, and all the other sponsors out there making this happen, and we just really enjoy it. So thank you.
Hey, and where was Hendrik? Did we scare him away already?
Well, it's funny we're talking about VR headsets, so I think he has an RMA issue with his index.
I have a friend of mine that has an issue with his Rift S, so it's like you gotta have a backup, I think.
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking at my Rift S, and it's just sitting here, and it's just been literally hasn't moved in about a year and a half. Mm-hmm. But maybe I need to find a new home for that and try out the reverb. Yeah.
Well, maybe if Dell comes out with one, then you'll use that.
It's okay. Hey, I've got a Samsung 49-inch screen upstairs, so don't tell anybody. Oops.
All right, you take care, Colin. And
all right, Matt. Cheers. Have a good night.
Couple weeks. Bye. All right, that is it for us tonight. Let's get our final results in here. Good talking to the guys as always. Steve Ficacci, P1, Chris Hill, P2, Aaron Dietrich, P3, Colin Kortanek, P4, Peter Lanik, Brian Kennedy, Andrew Stutzman, Peter Yerkes, Darren Treakle, Stan Sellier, tough break for the Darren there, Robert Benson, Jesse Brannon, Matthew Stover, Scott Kim, Andy Scheel. Oops, that's the grid. Bielik there in P16, like they said, he had a tough break there at the end. Anyway, we'll be back. We're not going to be here next couple of weeks. Got some things going on, but we'll be back for Zandvoort, which will be really fun with the guys here. That'll be about a year since we ran it last. And take care till then. And taking us out with that offer from Precision Racing Instruction.
Hi, I'm Christopher. I'm the owner and chief instructor of Precision Racing Instruction. I've been coaching racing and high-performance driving professionally for over 22 years. With experience in anything from karts to Formula cars to rally cars to sports cars to sim racing and a bit of everything in between, I can help you no matter what form of racing you do. We specialize in a precision approach to improving both your car control and racecraft to make you the best driver you can be. For a limited time, we are offering a special deal for anyone who mentions the Formula Indy Series, 15% off your first coaching session, either in the sim or in person. On top of that, I'm offering a one-time free video or data analysis for new students. Reach out to us either through Instagram or Facebook.